So let us start trigonometric equations. These are equations which involve trigonometric functions, right? So if I want to write its definition, these are equations involving trigonometric functions. Now what kind of equations can these be? For example, let me take a very simple equation. For example, sine x equal to 1 by 2, right? Now if I ask you what will be the solutions of this equation, some of the untrained minds can say that x will be equal to pi by 6. This is the solution of this equation. Now you may be correct in saying that, but this is not the complete answer. Okay, this is partial answer, right? This answer is true, but this is not complete. When I am asking the solutions of this equation, I am asking for all the solutions, right? So what I am asking is a general solution, right? General solution means that all such values of x where sine of x will be 1 by 2. Now if you would have noticed in the graph of sine of x, this was something like this, right? And it was between 1 and minus 1. So here it was 1. The maximum value sine of x could achieve was 1, and what was the minimum? Minimum value was minus 1, right? This is 0. Now the equation I've given you is sine of x equal to 1 by 2. 1 by 2 will be somewhere here, right? So this value 1 by 2, I am asking for which x will it be equal to 1 by 2. Sine of x will be equal to 1 by 2. So you go to the graph, and for this x it is equal to 1 by 2. Sine of this x is equal to 1 by 2, which you said is pi by 6, right? Now it will also be equal to 1 by 2 for this value of x, right? Now you need to find this value of x. Let me tell you what will be this value. This will be pi minus pi by 6, but the message I want to give you is that your answer, if you are answering that x equal to pi by 6, is incomplete. We will have infinite other points, right, where it will be equal to 1 by 2. So let me show you a glimpse of it. So if I go further, I'll have another point here which will give me, now this value of x, if I put here, it will also give me 1 by 2. And if I come on this side, negative side, this value at, this is 1 by 2, right? So for this x, it will be 1 by 2. For this x, it will be 1 by 2, right? So general solution is a solution. Let us say I write in terms of n something, right? Now the solution. Now if I keep changing values of n, it will give me different solutions. All right, that will be a general solution. Now all such solutions are valid for this equation. That means these values of x will give me sine of x equal to 1 by 2, which is my original equation. So these are general solutions. What are principal solutions? There are principal solutions also. So what are principal solutions? Out of these general solutions, the values of x that lie between 2 pi and 0, or the values of the angle between 0 to 2 pi, right? What was 0? This ray corresponds to 0 degree, right? And when I rotate it completely, or after one complete revolution, I call it 2 pi, right? I can rotate it once more and then come back to it. It will be 4 pi. So these are values of the same ray. Okay, these are values of same angle. So the principal solutions will be all such values of x which lie between 0 to 2 pi, where there is equality in front of 0, but I have not applied, or I have not written the equality here, because these two are the same ray, okay, or the same angle I am talking about. So if I have involved it here, I don't have to do it once again. All right, so this is a principal solution. So the solutions that will lie between 0 to 2 pi, for example, sine x equals 1 by 2, you can say x equal to pi by 6. Can you also say pi minus pi by 6 will also be a solution, that is 5 pi by 6, because sine pi minus pi by 6 is also equal to sine pi by 6, right? So another solution will be 5 pi by 6. Both of these are less than 2 pi and greater than 0. So these are principal solutions. But now I can have another solution which is 2 pi plus pi by 6, because I can keep adding 2 pi in any number of times. That will be perfectly valid solution, right? That will take me back to the same ray. So it will be equal to 12 pi plus pi 13 pi by 6. So this is another solution, but it is not a principal solution, right? Because it is greater than 2 pi. So out of these three that I've written here, these two are principal solutions. Now just keep patience for first 15 minutes. I promise you after that you won't have to look at any of the books and you can write the solutions yourself very fast. When we studied about this unit circle, right, we said that this ray is 0, then after one complete revolution this is 2 pi or 4 pi and so on. So finally we said that this is 2n pi, right? So this ray or this x-axis, positive side of x-axis, contains all these angles. If I replace this n with 0, this will give me 0. If I replace this n with 1, so this is general angle that I have written here for this line, right? And for this line we said, okay, first let us learn what was this. This was pi, then once after complete revolution if I come, it will be 3 pi. So it was odd multiple of pi, right? It was odd multiple of pi, and this was even multiple of pi. So this is odd multiple of pi, this is even multiple of pi, and collectively I can say this complete x-axis is multiple of pi, right? So we said that this x-axis, the vertical component was 0. For example, for this point, this is vertical component and this is horizontal component, right? This is something that we have studied and we have discussed multiple number of times. So at this point there is some vertical component, but at this point there is no vertical component. At this point there is no vertical component. So we said sine of n pi is equal to 0, right? And if you see, cos is 0 here and here, right? So what was it? It was pi by 2, right? And then after complete revolution I have to add 2 pi in it, so it was 5 pi by 2. So if I add 2 pi once again, it is 9 pi by 2 and so on. So finally we said this is 4n plus 1 pi by 2 in general, right? And what was this? This was 4n plus 3 pi by 2. So collectively if you see, this is pi by 2, this is 3 pi by 2, this is 5 pi by 2, this is 7 pi by 2. So we said that this y-axis corresponds to odd multiples of pi by 2, and we said that here the horizontal component is 0, so cos of odd multiples of pi by 2 is going to be equal to 0. Now when sine will be equal to 1, here sine will be equal to 1, so sine will be equal to 1 at 4n plus 1 pi by 2, it will be equal to 1. When is sine going to be minus 1? Here the value of sine for this point, the value of sine will be minus 1. So sine of 4n plus 3 pi by 2 is going to be equal to minus 1. These are some of the things that we studied. When will cos be equal to minus 1? Cos will be equal to minus 1 here. At odd multiples of pi, cos will be equal to minus 1. And when is cos going to be equal to 1? Here, right? Horizontal component is equal to 1 here. So at even multiples of pi, cos will be equal to 1. Now these two things I want you to memorize, that at multiples of pi sine will give me 0, at odd multiples of pi by 2 cos will give me 0. Now come to it. This is something that we have studied already in my previous lectures, right? Now we will start understanding trigonometric equations. Let me draw that unit circle once again, because I told you in the beginning that if you could understand only the unit circle, the entire trigonometry can be understood. Let us take any general point here, okay, P. So we said that this vertical component corresponds to sine of this angle, right? So we said that if this is alpha, then this vertical component is sine alpha, and this horizontal component is cos alpha, right? This is something that we know. Now you tell me, only focus on this vertical component, only focus here. This is sine alpha, right? So tell me, when will it be equal to this length? Once again, this is a rotating, this is a moving point P, right? It will come here, it will come here, it will come here. It can go anywhere on this circle. So give me another position when I'll have the same length of vertical component, right? So see, if I go here, right opposite to it, here, I reach at this point. Now see, this vertical component and this vertical component, they will be equal in length, right? Then some of you say that if I go right opposite to it here, it will be again equal to this. Yes, it will be again equal to this in length, but if you see, this is on the negative side. So this length will be exactly equal to this length, and taking care of plus and minus sign also, only at this point, right? So if this is sine alpha, this will be sine alpha here. And what is this position? This was what? This was odd multiple of pi, right? This was even multiple of pi, right? See, this length is equal to this length, because this is unit circle, or these are the radii of the same circle, you can say, right? These are equal in length, and these angles are equal. This angle is 90 degrees, this angle is 90 degrees. Moreover, I said that these lengths are equal because this is right opposite this point. So this angle here is also equal to this, right? This angle here is also equal to alpha. And if you see from the positive direction of x-axis, this angle is nothing but 180 minus alpha, or pi minus alpha, right? Okay. And if you see from this perspective, this angle, what I mean is, from, if you see this ray 2n pi, it is 2n pi plus alpha, and from this ray 2n plus 1 pi, it is 2n plus 1 pi minus alpha, 2n plus 1 pi minus alpha. At both these positions, it will give me the same length. At rest of the position, for example, if this moving point P comes here, all these lengths are on the negative side of the y-axis, right, below the x-axis. So these are negative, they cannot be equal to this length. Similarly here also. So I can only have a point either in first quadrant or in second quadrant for the sine of their angles to be equal. So if I have taken this point, so the another point will be right here. Okay, by symmetry I can say if this angle is alpha, this angle will also be alpha. So if this angle is alpha ahead of this angle, that is 2n pi plus alpha, right, then this angle or this ray is alpha before this, right? So if I can say it once again, even multiple of pi plus alpha is equal to odd multiple of pi minus alpha. Those two rays will give me the same value of sine, right? So what I'm saying is, even multiple of pi plus alpha odd multiple of pi minus alpha, right? And if I want to say these two statements collectively, it is very easy for me to do mathematically, because I can say n pi. Now if n is even and n is odd, I will decide. So n pi plus minus 1 raised to power n. Now if n is even, then this minus 1 raised to even power will become plus 1, right? When n is odd, minus 1 raised to some odd power will become minus 1, and I'll write alpha here. So by writing this, what I am saying is, when n is even, so it will become even multiple of pi, and this will become plus 1, so plus alpha. And when n is odd, this will become odd multiple of pi, and minus 1 raised to some odd power will give me minus. So odd multiple of pi minus alpha, even multiple of pi plus alpha can be written in this way. So if I say that sine x is equal to some sine alpha, then general solution for this can be x will be equal to n pi plus minus 1 raised to power n into alpha. The first example that we did was sine x equal to 1 by 2, right? So which can also be written as sine pi by 6. So what will be the general solution for this? X is equal to n pi plus minus 1 raised to power n pi by 6, right? What I mean by it is, if I take n equal to 0, then x will be equal to, this term will become 0, right? This will become 1, so it will be pi by 6. And when n is taken as 1, so you see this will become pi, and this will become minus pi by 6. So pi minus pi by 6 will give me 5 pi by 6. If I take n equal to 2, this will give me another solution, which is 2 pi, and this is even power of minus 1. So 2 pi plus pi by 6, which will give me 13 pi by 6. Right? So it will keep giving me all of these solutions when I change values of n. N is an integer, right? N belongs to integers. So I put different values of n, it will give me different angles at which sine will give me value 1 by 2. So this is how we will find general solution for sine. Now, if you have understood this much, you will see, okay, let me make another diagram. If I create this unit circle once again and take this moving point P, right? So what was this horizontal component here? This one. This was cos alpha, right? When this angle was alpha, right? And this is obviously 1 unit. Now tell me, when will this horizontal component, or at which position of P, once again will it be equal to this much? So some of the students can say that at this position of P, right, this component will be exactly equal to this. So yes, it will be, but it is on the negative side of x-axis. So sine will be plus or minus, right? So sine will change. Sine means plus or minus, right? If this is positive, that will be negative length. So that cannot be equal. So the another position for P can only be here. At this position of P, if you see, what will be the horizontal component? This will be the horizontal component, which is exactly the same and in the positive direction, right? So for both these positions, the value of the horizontal component will be same. And what are these positions? We said that this is 2n pi, right? And this is, if I go in clockwise direction, this will be minus alpha, right? So if I add alpha in 2n pi, it will give me this position. If I subtract alpha from this, this will give me this position. At both of these positions, this will give me value of cos as same. What I mean is, if I write cos x equal to cos alpha, then x will be equal to 2n pi plus minus alpha, right? So both of these rays will give me the same value. right? This ray as well as this ray, and obviously you can rotate this as many times as you want by 2 pi, right? Similarly this ray. So 2n alpha ahead of 2n pi and alpha before 2n pi, it will give me the values of cos. So this will be the general solution for it. And what about tan? For tan, you need to take care of sine and cos both. See, if I take any point P, this is vertical component, this is horizontal component, right? So this is sine alpha, this is cos alpha. Now, and ratio of these will be tan alpha. So sine alpha and cos alpha both should be equal. Let us take another position of this point P. At this position, sine alpha and cos alpha both will be different, or sine of this angle and cos of this angle will give me different horizontal and vertical components. Now if I take this point here, this will give me exactly same length of sine and exactly same length of cos, but cos will be on negative side, sine will be on positive side. So effectively tan will be negative here. But if I look at this point here, this point, sine is negative here, cos is negative here, and they are of same length, right? So at this point, which is alpha ahead of this, which is odd multiple of pi, alpha ahead of odd multiple of pi or alpha ahead of even multiple of pi, I'll have same value of tan. So I can say tan x equal to tan alpha. The solutions will be x equal to, now even multiple of pi plus alpha and odd multiple of pi plus alpha can be written as multiples of pi plus alpha, right? N may be even, n may be odd, it will be alpha ahead of that. So this is my general solution for this equation, tan x equal to tan alpha. Otherwise also, if you see, if by memory you want to do it, then you know that sine is positive in first and second quadrant, right? So if I taken any point P here, so I'll have another position of P in second quadrant. In rest of the quadrants it will be negative. Okay, similarly for tan, first and third quadrant, and for cos it will be first and fourth quadrant. Okay, so this is one of the ways of looking at these solutions. Another way that is given in your NCERT book, let me discuss in next lecture.